Welcome to Badminton Racket Review and to test number 612, and we have with us today the Yonex Astrox FB. Now the FB is quite the flash boost version of the Astrox. It's a strange racket from Yonex in terms of availability, because for some reason they have chosen to limit supply to Europe and to the UK. Don't know why, because it's a fabulous racket. Asia, you lucky people, you guys have got free access to this racket. The price range is so reasonable for it as well. It's sort of between the £50 and £70 mark. I think that's pretty good for an Astrox racket, and trust me, this racket is actually quite nice to use. Nevertheless, let's go through the specs as we normally do, or we normally like to do. It's got something printed on there. I can barely read it, unfortunately, because it's mixed in within the patterning of the racket. Rotational generator system. So we have, here we go. So it's a head heavy balance. I think we all knew it's an Astrox. It's going to be head heavy. So the balance of the racket is towards the head. The E-zone testing for that shows it to be a head heavy balance, so that's absolutely fine. The maximum string tension allowable on this Astrox racket is £28 tension. My screen's over there in case you're wondering why I keep doing that. The overall weight of this racket, it says F. Come across F before. If you know what F means, do write it down in the comments below. So the weight of this racket, according to the E-zone testing, is 79.5 grams. Wow, I'm telling you, this is light, seriously light. Yeah, that is seriously light racket. The shaft stiffness of this racket, the E-zone testing shows it at a stiff setting, and that's about right, I believe, and it makes sense in terms of the spec as well. And the one thing I'd say in terms of the design is this is not the slimmest shaft I've ever come across, and it has quite a big T junction here, so that's an interesting part of it. That must be something to do with being able to generate power from it. But overall, the design of this racket, well done to Yonex. I know some of you do, some of you don't. It doesn't really matter. Everyone's allowed to have their own taste. You know, it doesn't matter. But I like vibrant, modern designs, and this really is nice. It's some way the lettering is actually old-fashioned, but it's coloured really well. Naturally, with Yonex, execution of the paintwork supreme. But it's nice to see this kind of vibrancy from Yonex. I think it's a fun racket to look at. The paint job is brilliant, the colours used is brilliant. Take a look at the close-up images yourself, see what you think of the design, and do let us know in your comments below. Okay, so it is court testing time. Let's go to the E-zone court tests. So here are the Badminton Racket Review E-zone key points for testing. Firstly, all rackets are restrung with the same string. Or they were, but this is now no longer being made, so we will be shifting to this string from 2019. All rackets are restrung to 25 pounds of tension. All rackets, 25 pounds of tension. We use the same shuttles, the Yonex AS30s, for the control, maneuver and smash test. The player in the smash test uses the same velocity or same power, or as much as is humanly possible to do so, for each test. The control test, obviously it's the same player with the same abilities, and the manoeuvre test, well, it's a fairly isolated range of movement in fairness. That's all the key information for you. Let's get back to the court testing. Okay, let's move across to the smash test and see how good this racket is at smashing the shuttlecock. The E-Zone smash test is designed to reveal the racket smash potential, which we measure the shuttle speed in kilometers per hour, and at the same time we measure the relative head speed of the racket, but that kind of image is presented on every single individual racket page within the E-Zone. Now on to the actual smash test. Let's do the E-Zone manoeuvre test. Let's see how quickly this racket moves. In this test, we want to see what maximum speed the racket can achieve from rest. In this test, we measure the head speed of the racket, recording the fastest speed achieved in kilometers per hour. The player is isolated to move the racket in only one direction, which is upwards, from a rest position as quickly as possible. Finally, we're going to do a control test, see how good this racket is at controlling the shuttlecock. In this test, we place 4 large buckets in front of the player. He aims for the green bucket every time. Every shuttle in the green bucket scores maximum. Shuttles going into the grey bucket score less, and anything in the net or out doesn't score at all. The clip we show you here is half or less of the total test that we do. So testing is complete, and what do we think of this Yonex Astrox FB Flash Boost? Yonex Astrox Flash Boost, should I say, Flash Boost. Let me tell you something, right? It's an 80-gram racket. Now, I've been saying this for years, and I've come across so many criticisms on my comments, but you know, it is the way it is. If you're going to make videos, you're going to open yourself up to criticism, and that's fair enough. We don't mind criticism as long as it allows other users to learn from it, and we can learn from it. If it's just outright, you know, being snipey, then really we haven't got time for that nonsense. But let me tell you something I've been saying for years. If you take any degree of technology, whether it's cars, planes, phones, anything, technology always moves forward. Phones became lighter and lighter as years went on, but packed in a lot more performance. Rackets, it made absolutely no sense to me why you would want to carry more weight around with you, basically you want to carry around the minimum amount of weight, because it just allows better speed, better control. You're arriving earlier to meet the shuttle than later to meet the shuttle. So I think we're seeing that trend more and more. If you look at the rackets we've tested, the 19 rackets we've tested in this last test session of 2018, so many of them are super lightweight, and this is no exception. At 80 grams, let me tell you something, it can smash. Don't think you're going to get this racket, it can. It's got power, serious power, and you get a serious boom sound when you smash it, so it's very good for smash. I would say that somehow this thick shaft and the shaft stiffness doesn't allow for the kind of repulsion that I would want off a light racket, so you do have to put a bit of effort in to get the shuttle to move, but in every other area, defense, control, it's pretty good. The only botheration is that sort of repulsion level, where if you've got less time, you know, it's fine if you're nicely set up, loads of time for the clear, no worries. You're going to have no worries. Don't think it's light, it can't clear, no problem. But it's when you've got a short space of time to get impact onto that shuttle and you will need it to fly across to where you want it to go to. That is the only area where you might find a bit of annoyance, and I think that will take timing, it will take practice. Other than that, this is a good racket. Yet another thumbs up from us on this racket. It's pretty good. If you're considering buying it, go to the E-Zone first. You'll get all the information on the E-Zone page from our racket testing, and also the in-depth video review which covers smashes, drops, drives, defense and overhead shots. Here's what the E-Zone looks like when you arrive at it. Thanks for tuning in today. Your support, super appreciated. Your comments, super appreciated. Likes, subscriptions, likes on Facebook, Instagram followers. The E-Zone subscriptions this year have just grown beyond our wildest beliefs. You know, it's really good to see the feedback we're getting from the E-Zone platform, and next year that will be redeveloped from the comments we had from our members. Actually, we're listening to badminton players out there who want to see different information displayed in a different way, so that's all going to happen. We're constantly working hard to provide you with the best possible information on rackets anywhere in the world, anytime in history. So Badminton Racket Review is the world's #1 badminton racket review site. No one's ever tested more rackets in greater depth than we have. It's great to have you here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.